Hello there and welcome to today's video about the Michelin Tire Challenge early of 2026 in Monza. This race is actually taking place at the Monza combined circuit that includes the banked corners. We are driving in split 6 out of 9 with a strength of field of 1526. Get ready for some multi-car slipstream action today at Monza. Here we go. Start this race today in position 23. It is a rolling start as usual with this kind of session. As you can see, a couple of people have chosen to go into the pit lane already before the race starts. Our start is pretty solid though, as we go side by side with the number 3 car. We pass him before the start finish line. Number 10 behind is looking for the inside line, and this is what you're going to see here on these banked corners. These banked corners are very bumpy, and it's obvious that a very small mistake can cause tremendous problems around this track. You could have a huge crash just like that. Going around this second banking, however, we're still on track. As you can see, the bumps really affect the car, but luckily people are sensible here and keep their distance. We're off the bank section now, going for the first chicane, and at the end of this we're gonna just take it easy. As you see, the number 14 goes for a nice move down the inside of the 11. We've got slow cars on the exit of this corner. I'm just taking it easy because you don't want to ruin this 2-hour race this early on into the session. We're following a group of cars closely at the end of lap 1, going into the banked corners again in P19 after the first lap. The number 23 is trying to pass the number 5 car on the inside of the banked corners, as you can see here. Doesn't quite work out for him. We slipstream our way past him though, and going on to the main straight for the second time. I now have a great run at the 14, and the number 5 is pulling him along as well. There is a lot of room on the inside here that I choose to take. I take the 14, I take the number 5, and I nearly take the number 34 as well, who was on the left side, but he just covered it off in time. At the end of lap 2 now, we are trying to make a move on the number 4 car soon, as he leaves the door open on the inside of the Parabolica corner. I get a better exit than he does, and we make the move past him on the inside. On this third lap of the race, you can see the Mercedes is underneath the corner, as you can see there, and he slows himself up a lot by this. I'm also using the slipstream of car number 2 to get alongside him and try to see if I can pass him on around the outside. He leaves us the room to do so. He also gets passed by car number 5 behind in the process. He takes his losses for there. Meanwhile, we are quite close to the number 2 car down the main straight, going into the first chicane. But way before that, we've already made the pass, and we see a gap on the inside of the 24. I brake into it. I slow the car down just in time, but we do get collected. There's a bit of contact from behind as well with car number 14. That gives us a few X points, and I lose a few positions. And we now also have damage on the rear. Into the next chicane, I lose a battle with car number 28 as well, for good measure. The 28 car comes by at the first of the Lesmos, as you see here. Time to regain some positions and time to rebuild our strategy from here. On lap 4 then, the inevitable happens and two cars crash right off at the straight in between the two banked corners. I lift and I lose a lot of pace with that, and through on the inside goes the number 23. I dive right into his slipstream after this corner and try to take him back around the inside of the chicane. It is a close battle, but I don't take it as aggressively as I did last lap, and I don't get the position for now, but maybe for later. Onto lap 5, I've caught up with car number 4 as I take a nice bit of slipstream on him down the main straight, and this is where you'll see most of these battles take place because of the long flat out section before this. I brake on the inside of the chicane and I try to take the position, leave him room on the inside though, go a bit wide on the curb. I didn't get him, but around the outside the 23, but made a mistake on the previous lap, catches both of us and passes us as well. We're also closely fighting in the chicane number 2 here, as I do take the position of number 4 for a moment. There he lets off the throttle, probably because he cut the chicane. We go into Lesmos in P14. There is some close racing at the end of lap number 6. I have some momentum coming out of Ascari, and I'm side by side with the number 23 going into the Parabolica corner. This side by side action takes place for about half of the first sector, as I take a very, very deep line into the first banking. But because of some overspeed, he catches right back up, and we're side by side yet again on the straight between the banked corners. For now, I let him go by. It is a long race. Only 28 minutes have passed in this race. There's an hour and 42 minutes to go at this point. We're trying to see if I can pass the number 23 at the chicane. So I'm diving to the inside, and just as I pass him, the yellow flag comes out because of an incident in the chicane. Two people have come together here. I was ahead of him just in time, but these are also free positions. By the end of the lap, I've caught number 18, who is involved in the accident at the start of the lap. We run side by side through the Parabolica corner, and I'm on the outside this time, which is good for him because he wanted to pit anyway for repairs, and he peels off into the pit lane. We've got a little bit of a gap to the 23 now, and about 5 laps before our pit window. I've set my best lap of a 2:52.178. We're about 18.5 seconds behind the race leader at this point, and I'm catching up to the number 2 and number 23, as they are also catching up to the number 19, who is in position 9. But coming from 23rd on the grid, that isn't as bad as you'd imagine. On lap 10, we are 2 laps from our pit window as we close in on the cars ahead. I did not have enough fuel in the car at the start of the race. I didn't fill it completely up, so that is why I'm having to pit earlier than normal. We've got some nice battles going on just before our pit window though. As I take a look at the number 2's inside at the chicane, nothing really happening here. As you can see, his car is pretty badly damaged on the right hand as well. We're not committed at this point, close to the stop, and we're gonna lose those spots anyway. Not really a lot faster than the cars ahead either. We now catch the number 19 car at the end of this lap, who has made a mistake, and I'm hoping I'm gonna make it through this lap by slipstreaming. We've got about a lap of fuel to go. I've decided to push on for one more lap. Just at the other end of the track, on lap 12 here, as you see, 3 cars, but one of them is slow. That is a back marker, the number 21, who nicely makes himself disappear as far as he can to the right hand side of the track. We nearly collect the number 28 car because the 19 has made a mistake and I go through the middle of both of them. There is slight contact with the 19 on the left hand side, but it's not significant enough to have a crash for either one of us. As down the inside of the second chicane, I'm looking for P9 in the race at this point, and I'm taking it. But then I go a bit wide on the exit and I lose not one, but 2 positions going into the Les Mo's corner. It's the end of lap 12 then, and we are pretty much empty on fuel. You see it's a nice close battle between a couple of cars here, but we're having to pit in this lap. I take the inside line, making sure I am ready to go into the pit box. And I'm not alone, because the 19 goes with me, as you can see. This will be the first of a couple of pit stops, and as you can see, more people are in at this time. Probably they did the same I did. I have a bit slower of a stop than the number 19, probably because he didn't have as much damage as I did, but I opted to fix a bunch of that damage. Number 23 passes around the outside of the first corner here. He is a back marker now, but he will be important later in this race, as you will see. We're on lap 13 with an hour and 23 minutes to go just about, and we are trying to get back at the number 19 car and see if I can do something about it. As you can see, another mistake from him at the last corners. He nearly crashes twice. Catches it both times. We go around the left hand side. He signals for me to pass him as well, and I do. As more cars come out of the pit lane at this point as well. I've got a nice gap between me and 19, but it's probably not enough to keep him away from our bumper. The number 2 comes out ahead. He takes the low line on this corner, and I take the outside to catch him and pass him for position at the end of the first bank corner. We now use the number 23 car to try and break away from the cars behind. We use a slipstream, but as you'll see, it is pretty hard to get loose from a couple of people in this track with that long of a straight and that much power of the slipstream. Lose a bit of time into this chicane, and now we are surely back in the battle with 19 and number 2, who are right behind me at this point. I'm running side by side with the number 19 car as he tried to pass me around Parabolica this lap, and we absolutely go next to each other here. I tried to take the lowest line as possible, with the bumps keep pushing me back up. We do not make contact, luckily, however. It is very, very close, and I know I'll lose a ton of momentum coming out of this corner to him. I just want to get in his slipstream by the end of it. And there we go, trying to keep his position as well as we can, but his defense is quite strong. We come towards the chicane. He has a distant slipstream from the number 23, which probably just gives him enough of an edge to stay ahead of me at the chicane here on lap 15. And it is fun to race these guys. By the time we get to the second chicane, however, I am ahead and I'm in the lead position of this group. And I'm now again trying to use the 23 for a distant slipstream to stay ahead of these guys. And he takes a look on the inside of the Les Mo's, and he gets past once more. Our small group now starts to catch back up to the 23 car. As you can see, he's not really able to break away from us as the slipstream is that strong. I'm trying to take both of them down the inside of the chicane here on lap 17. I get the move done on the 23, who nearly comes back at me. He brakes a bit later. I have to move over for him. And the 19 takes a shortcut at the chicane. He then pulls to the left hand side and lets me go by on the inside. This is, however, where trouble starts to happen. We make a small mistake at the Ascari corner I'll hold back a bit to prevent some accidents, but we are now again back into this very close fight with these guys. And now I get back behind the number 23 car, and soon as well behind the number 2. And they're racing each other pretty hard at this point in the race, and I'm actually just trying to survive. I'm not really trying to get crashed off. I choose caution a lot of the time, but we're also racing and trying to finish my race in the shortest time possible. So there is a risk factor here. I'm trying to manage to get back to the front of this group as we pass the number 2 at the straight on lap 20. We got very close to the backside of the 23. But he does seem to have the pace to run through this group and past it, and I'm trying to get ahead of these people. The number 19 makes a mistake at the Ascari at the end of lap 20, and I am now looking to take the lead of this group by taking the 23 down a parabolica, and I'm trying to break away from the group behind. This might just be the one opportunity we have, but as you can see on the exit of this corner, they're already right there again. And with about an hour to go, this starts to happen. The 23 behind is now bump drafting me at the straight. He's clearly trying to make us go faster, but he does it in the corner as well, as you can see. And it only takes a couple of these bump drafts for this to happen. He is very close to me at the end of the straight before the chicane, and I have to lift and brake, and he crashes into the back of me. I crash off the track, and I somehow don't completely destroy the car here. I've got some serious damage, and I'm out of the race for this top 10 finish. I'm gonna have to tow the car back to the pit lane. I'm very, very frustrated about this, of course. Let's have a look at the offboards and see how close he really was. I started to brake and he smashed into the back of me. I smash into the wall there and fly over the chicane. Luckily the Mustang I had was already gone. There's a pretty heavy impact there into the wall. I'm sure that car would not have been running anytime soon. From his side it looks all a bit worse, and it looks a bit more on me, to be honest. He probably at this moment thinks, well, that was a bit of a brake check. So it was on both of us, maybe on me a bit more than on him, but you'll be the judge of that, I'm sure. It sent us out of the race. He did apologize for the contact, and I accepted his apology, of course. Let's continue with the video. I've let the engineers repair the car completely. I'm 2 laps down. We're going right back out there to hopefully have some fun yet and finish the race. There were actually quite a few battles that lie ahead that I got myself into, as first I caught up to the 17 car with about 35 minutes to go in this race. A small group of the 27 and 35 car up ahead were battling for P15, and I'm trying to see if I can catch up to them, and I could, and I brought my friend the number 17 right along with me as he started battling them for position. At some point the 35 car got behind a bit on the group, and I decided to pass him and see if I can get him right back into the fight, to at least have some entertainment ahead of me yet. Initially he stayed behind me for quite a bit, as I now am very close to the 27. It gives me the space just about on the left hand side to go for it and try to unlock myself. The 17 gives me room as well, but I'm not choosing to take it like that. It's not for my position here. '27 makes good use of my slipstream throughout here, and I decide to let it go again. It is a bit of entertainment for me by now. 27 makes a mistake into the chicane on lap 31. I go past him on the Lesbos, at least so I thought. But he actually kept the line on the outside. A couple of laps later, the 17 has caught up with our friend, the number 19, who we have had a couple of nice battles with in the past. He eventually let me by at the end of lap 32, and later I got by the number 17 as well, to then try and break away from both of them. Eventually though, fuel was running out again. With about 15 minutes to go, I needed to do a final stop for some fuel. I did that and we got back onto the road as the 33 blasted by me on the straight. Nothing really happened after that. The white flag was shown for me with about 20 seconds to go. This was lap 39 and the last lap of this race. Not completely free of incidents, as you see. The 19 went off on the left there, and up ahead another car went through the gravel. Then again he came back onto the track and I nearly collected him. That was nearly race over with about a corner to go, but we made it over the finish line, P21. We did gain a bit of safety rating despite the accident, but I've lost a couple of points in iRating at this point. The race is over. Thank you if you watched and enjoyed it. See you next time. Goodbye.